you get a little edge about you, trying to go back at them. But you got to do it within the system of our offense and how we go about things, and not get the temptation to abandon that just to get into the little back and forth one-on-one. So that's kind of my approach. You enjoy those kind of moments, even though we didn't get the win, but opportunity to go right back at them.
Emilio in the back.
Yeah, Steph, Emilio Perez, Stop Deportes. We all know you are a hard worker. We all know the ethics of the game that you have. But when people question your leadership as a result of what happened in the last game, in the last quarter, and how the game slipped from you guys, what do you have to say when people question your leadership and they say that the real leader of this team is Draymond Green?
Who says that?
When people are around in social media and everything else have comments about.
They say, I've always said Draymond's. He's the spirit of what we do. You see it out on the floor. That's what he brings. Everybody leads in a different way, and I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment and say Game 5 was a direct reflection of kind of who we are as a team and who I am as an individual, as a player, as a leader. And I was out there, doing what I was trying to do to help our team win, and it didn't work. So that happens in sports. It happens in our game, and that's not going to stop me from coming back, and doing what I do to help lead my team in Game 6. So comfortable with that.
Is tomorrow the biggest game of your career so far, being like that you haven't really shown up the numbers that people really expected from you as an MVP? Is tomorrow your biggest game of your career so far?
Yeah, we have a chance to win a championship, so definitely the biggest game, and I'm ready for it.
Tim, standing on the left.
Tim Calcone, Mercury News. Kerr mentioned it right after the last game. Same position you were in last year, up 3-2, chance to win a championship here. How much of those memories go through your mind? The celebration, just the way that it accomplished different circumstances. Obviously, this series is playoffs than last year, but do you feel some kind of symmetry in that?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same building, and like you said, the same 3-2 lead. Understanding the emotions of what it is to try to win a closeout game on the road. I haven't been through it one time, so that helps. I think it's different because it's a different year, it's a different challenge, different circumstances, obviously, with a couple of injuries and whatnot. But the opportunity is there, and I think we're a very poised group that's ready for it. So it should be fun.
Also, Draymond is out there saying that he was a bad teammate for missing that game. I guess he apologized to you guys. What's the emotion from the team when bringing him back like that? Do you even have to do anything to bring him back, or is it just same as it was for Game 4 and Game 3, Game 2, Game 1?
It's pretty much the same because we know what kind of player he is and what he brings to our lineup and our way of playing. So it is different with Bogues out now. We're going to have another different rotations as well, especially in the starting lineup. So we got to make those adjustments. But as Draymond specifically coming back, we know exactly what to expect and how we can play around him and through him and with him. So 3 days isn't going to change that.
Michael on the aisle.
Steph, I want to ask, how much does it bother you just when you hear that people say an MVP should do this in the finals or should perform at this level? And when you hear some of the crazy theories about what's affecting you, how do you internalize that and how you block all that out?
I don't really worry about it. I mean, there's kind of a historical kind of expectation of the all-time greats in this league that have had great finals moments and had these kind of numbers and these kind of numbers. None of them played for this team and understood how I try to help my team every single night. So, yeah, I want to honestly play better and more consistent, but the situation is right now we're one game away from winning a second championship, and I personally have 48 minutes to do what I need to do to help my team win. So right now he can kind of get lost in that. But at the end of the day, if I'm sitting here on tomorrow night with another trophy and celebrate with my teammates, we can talk all day.
Same corner, Chris.
Steph, how do you balance the one-on-one matchup? Obviously, Kyrie's a top point guard, and he's having a good series. How do you balance that with the bigger picture of let's just win this series?
It's kind of natural just because, like, sort of the same answer. It's kind of, I know how I help my team, win and how to execute our game plan and the spots that I'm going to, get my shots and where I can be aggressive and whatnot. It's not so much a back and forth, all right, I'm taking you one-on-one, you taking me one-on-one kind of deal. And so I don't get wrapped up in that at all. But, I want to play my best, and if I don't, then I'm frustrated and I understand I need to, figure that out. And that's really all I'm worried about. So, Kyrie and LeBron had an amazing game in Game 5, and did what they were supposed to do to help their team, stay alive. The story should hopefully be different Game 6.
John standing over here.
Steph, do you guys, or do you anticipate you guys starting small tomorrow, or at least playing small a majority of the game? The numbers say you guys are at your best with Draymond playing center in this series. Do you guys feel that? Do you feel like that's your best road to winning tomorrow?
I haven't talked to Coach much. We just kind of understood the situation in the last 12, 24 hours. So that'll be the decision Coach has to make, how we're going to start. I do know, when we go small and have the ability to kind of kick the pace up a little bit, it usually works to our advantage. But I think it works because of the other lineups that we can throw out there and have that versatility throughout the course of 48 minutes. So we'll see how the rotations go and how we start. But at the end of the day, whoever's out there has to execute better than we did at Game 5 in order to win another championship.
Mark on the left.
Steph, Draymond was just outside telling us that he was a terrible teammate, that you guys would have won Game 5 if he was in the lineup. What do you want him to know, when he thinks of himself as a terrible teammate and that he cost you a game at this time of the year?
We've already talked to him, or I personally have, it wasn't an ideal situation to not have him out there, and hopefully he's not put in that situation again where he's putting his playing status in jeopardy. But at the end of the day, it's a team game, and we had an opportunity to go out and win a championship, and it would have been the ultimate video montage to see him running across from the baseball stadium with a camera following him into the Oracle Arena. That was like the dream celebration, but it didn't happen. So missed opportunity there. But I think there's a Game 6, and he's going to be available, and we're going to have another opportunity to win a championship. And nobody will remember this down the road if we get this done tomorrow night. So that's really all we need to talk about.
Are you concerned that he might have a lot in his head about how he has to dial some of himself down and some of himself up to avoid any further incidents in this situation?
No, I think he's going to play with that same aggression, that same passion, leave it all on the floor, but be smart. I think he can do that without having to take a piece of himself away from what he does on the floor and who he is as a basketball player and a competitor and whatnot. So he won't get baited into any kind of altercations. He won't. I'm pretty sure he'll be talkative, but hopefully in a very constructive kind of way. So that'll be good.
Tim on the left.
Steph, I guess you had the film session from the last game this morning. What do you do when you see he had some open threes in the last game. What do you think when you see yourself get that shot and miss that shot a few times in a pretty key spots last game?
I don't really worry about the shots that I missed. Those are ones you live with. You live with the result. You don't really want to go back and analyze, oh, I got open, what happened, why'd I miss it, or was my feet, not square to the basket, or did I not hold my follow through, whatever. I don't really worry about that because those shots will come, and if I can keep the confidence, I'll hopefully knock them down the next game. The stuff that kind of bothered me the most is there's on the offensive end of certain possessions where we had the right reads and the right looks, but passes got deflected because they were a little lazy, or we didn't have the crispness to what we were doing. That was a situation where you feel like you had missed opportunities. Open shots, make or miss doesn't really bother me that much, but the other stuff that takes us out of the rhythm of our offense, that I control most of it, is the frustrating part. So that was the most glaring thing that we saw on the film, and I have to shore that up.
And defensively, what would you say what specifically did you not love about that game when you look back on the film?
Breakdowns, communicating on switches and in transition, finding our matchups, and certain details of the fundamentals of just body position on defending guys one-on-one in space. We gave too many angles to the basket where we put our help defense in a bad spot with straight line drives to the basket and whatnot. I mean, it might be overblown a little bit because they made so many tough shots, but if you have guys that are hot and you give them those 3 to 5 possessions where you have breakdowns as well, it just makes things worse. So you got to fix those.
Thank you, Steph.
It's interesting. Steph talked about